The next thing we're going to talk about is a thing that makes me really happy. You may have noticed that as we've been recording and going along, everything is, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Everything is 16. You may have noticed thus far that everything, is 16 steps. If you're playing a song that has, this is polyphonic. So if you're playing a song that has a chord every couple of measures or something, you're kind of limited because if this is in sync, you pretty much have a measure. There's your measure. There's 16 beats in the measure. That's for the 16th notes. And wow. So if you're sequencing, that's one chord. What if you wanted to play, a chord for 2 measures or a chord for 4 measures? Well, that's awesome because Korg has made provisions for such a thing to happen. Actually, what we were just listening to in regard to tempo delay had that going on. Let me show you instead of talking. Okay, so let's choose this and we'll clear it. If we, right now, this is set to, you see this line that says tempo, it says 1 to 1. That means the 16 beats are within, the 16 steps are within 4 beats. And what you can do is then change that to 1 to 2, which means the 16 beats are divided between 8 beats. The 16 steps are divided between 8 beats. So that means you lose the ability to do 16th notes, but you can still do 8th notes, and it becomes 2 measures. So let's make sure this is clear. And then we just made sure that was clear, remember? Okay, here we go. Let's turn on the metronome, which will show you exactly what I'm talking about. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. So now we have 2 measures, which gives you a little more diversity when you're using the polyphonic sound or even the monophonic sound. And that's very awesome. And they've also given you the ability to have this next setting, which is 1 to 4, which you lose the 8th notes. And then you get 4 measures, but you only get quarter notes within those measures. So that would sound like this. Two, 3, 4. And I have very adequately demonstrated that you've lost 8th notes. But yeah, you have 4 measures, and as long as you play in quarter notes for those 4 measures, so you can hear that. The one sad thing about this, in addition to losing 8th notes and 16th notes, you also have lost the delay. There is no delay when you're doing that particular setup. Now, that seems kind of limiting because you're like, oh, crap, what if I have 4 measures, but I want to have 8th notes in it? What the heck am I going to do if I want that? And if I told you, dude, you're just out of luck, you can't have everything, you'd say, yeah, you're right. But that's not what I'm going to tell you, because there's a little bit of fudging you can do. Let's turn this off. Let me show you. There's this thing called Flux. Now, what they've done is they've put kind of this little digital recorder in here too. Now, it doesn't align, it doesn't quantize with the various steps. So it just gives you the amount of time that exists during those steps. And in the case of the tempo set to 1/4, that's 4 measures worth of time. And in that time, you can do, whatever you want rhythm-wise, but it's up to you to play it in rhythm. So let's give it a try. I'll show you. Okay, these are our measures. So there's something kind of interesting that happened there. I'd like to say that it's the machine's fault. I didn't play that like that. But you can hear that I'm playing much more than quarter notes there. So if your timing is just right, if you happen to play really well, and it might take a few tries, but I mean, you can just keep doing it until you get it right. You have 4 measures to fill up with anything you want. I've chosen a monophonic line here, but it could be polyphonic. You could be playing 3-note chords during this whole time in whatever pattern you'd like. So that is a really awesome thing that you can be doing. And of course, during this, you can be doing anything you want except for anything dealing with delay. But I mean, you could also, for example, turn on motion sequence. And, let's be honest, we can also change other things. Yes, LFO rate is something you can. With each recording of motion sequence, you need to restart it to do something new. But yeah, so I wanted to show you that you can be doing things like motion sequence in the midst of doing things with flux. There are some limitations with flux, but that is not one. So that is a good demonstration of a variety of ways that you can record with the Korg Volca Keys and some of the cool functionality and changes you can make in real time as you're doing it.